Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I found some nice daylight and I thought I'd actually record without a lamp for once and see if I could show these books without too much glare. It's the merry month of May. Hope everyone's doing well. The landscapers seem to be done for now. And aside from a couple of dogs barking, I think you can hear me okay. And let's get this underway with Vampirella Dracula Unholy. This is issue 5, Parrillo cover. My order had a couple of replacements in it. They made a notation of some books that had been on hold for a while, and I went ahead and just said, send me some extra dynamite to compensate and we'll be fine. So they sent me a variant of that issue 5. It's kind of a cool blue cover. I'm also kind of into those ultraviolet ones, which I've yet to get a copy of anything with that effect, but this cool blue one's kind of nice. I have Hell Sonia here. I think this is my first issue of this title. It's book 4. Really nice Parrillo. It's a nice Derek Chew on Barbarella 8. Been looking forward to this one. Alright. So this was a substitute, which I really like. This is Barbarella 9, which I didn't order, but they were kind enough to fill my order with this in place of something else that wasn't going to be out in time. This one's really nice too. Head to toe. Kind of a minimal trade dress too. I mean, not too bad. I can live with that. This one has been on pre-order for a while. I got it for the Eric Clowes cover. Biden's Titans, issue 1. Here's a cover I've always enjoyed. I did a watercolor of this in school. I don't have any more. It's one of my favorite Frank Miller covers. G.I. Joe issue 1. I believe... No, that's not Lynn Varley. That might be Sinclair on the coloring. But I like it. This was... this is probably from 1995, when Frank was deep in his Sin City style, right after A Dame to Kill For. Maybe between A Dame to Kill For and The Big Fat Kill. So I've been kind of looking at Doug TenNaples' books. He did I think an Indiegogo of Earthworm Jim, which, I mean, wound up taking home, I think, around 1,200,000. Hardcover, really cool, kind of expensive. And since then, they've done Launch the Cow, and they made a sequel, and he's also done a Bigfoot character. But man, this is gear. And I got it because Saturday morning cartoons, one of my favorite shows to get up and watch, mid-90s, was Earthworm Jim, which I believe came on either before or after Freakazoid. And I would record both of those on VHS if I was up on time. And yeah, this is one of the cooler covers from this Gear little mini series he did. I'd also like to get some of the Marvel comics of Earthworm Jim, but those cost all the money too. So for right now, this is pretty cool. I like having that. I haven't even looked at this, so I just basically unboxed it. I can kind of see the impression, but this is oh, they got that wrong. What the heck? So, okay, I believe this is, it says The Punisher from Elite Comics. I don't know if they got this right. No. I got this wrong. I'm going nuts. This is Nathan Zerdy for Power Hour Preview. And I've been trying not to order a lot of like little store exclusives, but I saw this on Comics Elite. Once you order anything from one of these places, you're forever on their email list. So sometimes I get compelled to open the email, and I saw this one, and I had to get it. I thought it was really nice. This was why I thought it was a Mendoza cover. I put a label over my name, and it threw me off. But yeah, that's just the cat's meow. I honestly haven't even looked at this yet. Wow. Black Ops Publishing. Thank you. Sometimes I just can't resist them. So, I think a year or two ago, my brother and I, we watched this movie that I'd always had seen on the back of comic books, Marvel Comics, in the early 90s, and I'd never seen the movie. I wish I'd had, because it could have kind of become like a classic, like Jim Carrey's The Mask, or to a lesser extent, Damon Wayans' Blank Man. And then later on we had stuff like Mystery Men, well before we had really decent comic book movies with the turn of the millennia with the X-Men movie. However, I finally watched this, and my brother and I agreed it was really good. And I'd known about this movie adaptation of Robert Townsend's Meteor Man. And I think I even read the scholastic adaptation in class, like in core English and literature. But man, this movie, it's lighthearted and kind of funny, very family friendly. But Robert Townsend, who my brother reminded me was on the WB on UPN, sort of the same era as like the Wayans brothers, the Smart Guy and Sister Sister. He had a show called what's it called? I think Parenthood. And other than that, I'd never really seen Robert Townsend in anything, but I really liked his character. He plays this teacher who becomes transformed. I need to read this adaptation, but man, the movie was really cool. And I'd always seen it on the back of comics, and I finally watched it, and it was like a perfect time capsule of that early '90s. Uh, it's got some pretty cool people in it. James Earl Jones. I think Big Daddy Kane plays the heavy. So, after the comic book adaptation, they actually put Meteor Man into the Marvel Universe with this first issue. And this is some people might laugh, but this is my favorite era of Marvel. I love the corner box. I love the $1.25. I love the layout on these. But I'm really excited to read these. I mean, I couldn't find them for a good price on eBay, so I went on a site called Mercury, MERCARI, and I did a little research. They were secure. They took PayPal. They were legitimate. It's a lot like eBay. You end up buying from just regular people, and I guess Mercury is kind of the intermediary, but it went smooth, you know. Here's issue 2, and I was able to get these. They came pretty well packaged. It was kind of like buying a comic off of Amazon, to tell you the truth. Issue 2. And they went from basically giving us Robert Townsend as he was in the movie to them drawing him more and more badass by the last issue. Honestly, I haven't read these, but he looks ferociously badass as we move along. This one guest stars Spider-Man in issue 3. Really cool. I didn't know that this kind of had its own little series. I mean, I assume Meteor Man is still kind of Marvel Universe canon, which is pretty cool when you think about it. This was released by... So Robert Townsend had his own company, an affiliation with MGM. I believe this was June of '91 that came out. Maybe '92. Marvel had this trade dress for a little while. This one guest stars Thrasher, the founder of the New Warriors. Actually ordered some Thrasher books. I remembered this character wrong. I thought he was a part of Marvel's Midnight Suns, along with Ghost Rider and Morbius and Blade. but he actually wasn't. His first appearance was in a Thor book. That's a cool cover, though. I better wrap this up. I have a toothache that's starting to make its presence known. Here's Meteor Man 5. It's a tough enough cover. And last issue. Issue 6, To the Bitter End. And I believe this is the Big Daddy Kane character down there on the pavement. I really liked the movie. This was kind of some of the only branded merchandising for it. There was a little like bendable figure, you know, with the wires inside, but they didn't do too much more. So, Davis Comic Finds has been collecting some Sonic the Hedgehog books, and I'd always kind of wanted more of the Archies of Sonic, but those early issues have become really expensive. I mean, quite a bit of money. But I found this Sonic team up with Mega Man, so I went ahead and picked that up. Mega Man had his own Archie book for a while, so this is the Team Sonic variant. So this is actually Sonic the Hedgehog issue 250. Yeah, so they both are. Here's the Mega Man portion of it. I don't believe they connect or anything, or oh, you know what they do. I'll make a nice big image with them both. I'm just really partial to the Sonic where he has the stubby little legs, you know. When they make them all tall and they give them kneecaps and everything, I'm not as much for it. But when he's a stubby little dude like this, I kind of like it. And that's a great Mega Man too. And the same seller had a copy of this, so I went ahead and had him throw it in because I can't get enough of this Batman 488. Yeah, and also he had this Robert Hack cover for a Jughead book, so threw that in. Nice enough. Okay. I was watching Comic Crypt of Castle Hills about a week or two ago, and he was just going through a lot of different orders he'd had, a lot of cool stuff, and he showed something, man, it stopped my heart. It was so beautiful. Every now and then I'll see a Harley Quinn cover that I think is the perfect epitome of Harley. The last time I saw a cover that moved me as much as this one, it was a Joshua Middleton from a while ago. I have up on my wall, otherwise I'd be sharing now. But he shared this Harley cover by Will Jack, who I don't have anything of prior to this. I missed out on his Secret 6 issue 1? And ever since then I'd really wanted something of Will Jack, this really great artist. But man, oh man, this is the perfect Harley. I know it's not Harley as the court jester, but look at this beautiful Harley Quinn cover. thank you, Mike, for showing this. I didn't know about this book. And I priced it on eBay, and I couldn't do it. It was too much money. So I got smart, because I couldn't remember where he'd said he'd gotten it from. So what I did was, if ever you see a cover you like, don't go on eBay. Do a Google search and hit shopping. So I hit this Harley Quinn 13, Will Jack, hit shopping, and I think East Side Comics came up. And for what East Side Comics was asking for, I was able to afford both the trade dress and the minimal trade dress for the same price of what I would have only been able to have gotten the trade dress for on eBay. And this is gorgeous. There's different elements he drew from. Reminds me a little bit of the Injustice video game, a little bit of Margot, and then there's that Will Jack influence of him just doing what he does. So, yeah. I figure I'll put the minimal trade dress up on the wall, get it in a top loader, and tack it up. Nothing tacky about that. It's all class. Two more sellers. This was a throw-in. Nice Wonder Woman book. But really what I got this because of, gosh, it must be 4 years ago now. Marvin88 was selling some books, and I really wanted this one. And I watched his video as soon as I saw it, but he informed me that someone had already, I think back when you could still direct message on YouTube, someone had swooped this up for a really good price. And I was at work and I had bad frequency, Wi-Fi, whatever. But I finally found a copy of this for under $30. And it's Power Girl 3 with a Gilliam March cover. And I remember Marvin had the one with Power Girl right inside the volcano, and he gave it to Freddy's 562, and Marvin still had this one, but he had parted with it. And I was pretty sad, but man, I finally got one. Beautiful Power Girl, Gilliam March. Gilliam, I don't really think signs in the States, so it's really unlikely I'll ever get this with a hot signature on it, but man, that's great. Blonde and brunette. So, I was supposed to have a copy of the Sandman issue 1, the Neil Gaiman Sandman facsimile. I had ordered one 2 weeks ago, but it hasn't shipped yet. However, I did pick up this nice Vertigo Essentials. A funny thing is, I thought that the Vertigo Essentials, essential Vertigo stuff, I thought this was in black and white in the interior. The interiors of this are in full color. I guess it might have just been Swamp Thing that had the interior black and white. So like I said, I don't have the new facsimile. However, I did order from Books A Million. Kelly Jones did an exclusive. It's a cover for the Sandman. It's a trade they did of issues 1 through 20, which I believe covers Preludes and Nocturnes, Dollhouse, A Game of You, and Dream Country. But Kelly Jones did a new cover, and it's all about A Dream of a Thousand Cats. So from Books A Million, I ordered 2 copies of that. So I'm really looking forward to having another collection of the Sandman early issues. But the Kelly Jones cover, man, it's good. It's good. But finally, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to buy a slabbed book. But I'd missed the boat on this comic. Davis had gotten this book. PGH Zombie had gotten 2 nice copies right before it took off. I waited a little too long. I found a seller that had a copy of Sandman 1 in an 8. You know, part of me really wants to remove this book from this hard case, take it out of this CGC slab, but I have so many versions of this story, and it's kind of cool because the book involves imprisonment, not of death as the captors had proposed, but still nonetheless symbolically he's in there and he looks pretty good for an 8. Pretty sharp. I think that's the right shade of the back cover. It might be slightly creamed. But I finally got a copy of this, man, after years and years of putting it off. I finally have a Sandman 1 from January of 1989. I just need to get that Rolling Stone where they have an ad for the Sandman. I just know it's a Rolling Stone magazine with Uma Thurman on the cover. But the cool thing about this, I didn't even know. I knew, but I didn't put it together. Obviously, first appearance of Morpheus, but also of Wesley Dodds. A cameo of Wesley Dodds, who would shortly become thereafter the Sandman of Sandman Mystery Theater. So they call this a cameo of that. So, yeah. I'm not especially going after issue 8. I love the character of Death, but this was the cover I really liked from those early Dave McKeans. It's in a frame. Finally, if you'd ever seen Gratu Orloff's now infamous interview with the man who does Gwendolyn, basically this guy will take public domain books and he'll put them out in this kind of big edition. This is the economical black and white version of some early Black Cat. I'd become a fan of Black Cat after I'd gotten one of her books. My only Golden Age book I'd purchased on my own. But I wanted to see what these Gwendolyn's were about, as there's also a Phantom Lady. Like I said, I went economical. This was $13 for over like 500 pages. In full color, something like this would run $50 to $60. But there's a lot of stuff. Gwendolyn. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully the video came out good. Have a great month of May, and I'll have another video for you probably next week. And hopefully that Sandman facsimile will be here. Alright, take care.